Well, hello and welcome to Knife Delights. You know, every now and then you run across a knife that you're not quite sure how to go about refurbishing. And one of the special challenges is a knife such as this. And this is a Smoky Mountain Knife Works 25th anniversary knife made by Novelty Knife Company. So this is kind of a cute little piece of history right here. But as you can see, we got a lot of rust, and we know we got to get rid of the rust. I'm going to take a good shot there. You can see how rusty it is. Look at the back side. You can see all the rust. But what I'm primarily concerned about is you can see how the rust has gotten underneath the acrylic covers here. And it's kind of messed up the advertising there, hasn't it? So my question is, if I soak this in rust remover, is the rust remover going to get underneath there? Is it going to clear up some of that, wipe that off, make it more clear? Or is it going to harm it? Is it going to destroy it? So this is going to be a fun little experiment. And again, folks, this is why I always say, you know, this came out of that basket of knives. And before you want to try to restore a knife, try to find a similar knife in an antique store. Even if it has broken blades or it's split apart and blade wobble and all this and that, you're not trying to restore it to get it to work, although maybe you can. And don't drop your knife. I'm going to leave that in. It happens, folks. But anyway, where was I? So maybe you can restore it and get it working again, but the primary purpose of buying that $2 or $3 knife that you find in a junk basket at an antique store, buy it and practice on it. That way, if you have a knife that's valuable or a family heirloom that's invaluable, before you try to restore that knife, you practice on another one and you see what works and what doesn't work. So I've got some rust remover here. It's okay that it's got a little bit of dirt in there. It'll still work. You don't always have to start with fresh, clean stuff. But we're going to put that in there. We're going to monitor this. And we're going to see if that rust remover, if it gets underneath the acrylic and actually damages the artwork under there or the advertising under there. Or maybe it'll harm it. Maybe it'll clear it up. Let's see. Well, this is where we're at right now. We've soaked it in the evapor rust, or WD-40 rust remover, and we've soaked it in the mineral oil. And it certainly hasn't harmed it anymore, and it just seems like on this side it's cleaned it up just a little better. But I'm not sure. But I thought what we'd do now is just do a general cleaning of the knife. Then I want to put it back in some cleaner rust remover and see if it'll take some of that stuff out. So let's just get started doing a general cleaning on this blade. Of course, I'm going to just start out with my standard rubbing compound here just to clean the metal, get rid of any more this surface rust that we can see. You can see on those bolsters, they need shined up and cleaned up. The rust has come off of it pretty much, but let's just get it clean. Nice thing about these single bladed knives is it just doesn't take as long to clean them up. Some of those multi-bladed knives, it takes a while. You got a lot of work to do there. A lot of blades. All in all, the knife will clean up very nicely. Regardless of how the covers end up looking. That's just us wanting them to look nice. It really doesn't have anything to do with how the knife cuts. And as you can see, it doesn't even look like this blade's really been used. So there's plenty of blade here. So the knife is still gonna cut. See there, just a little effort, how much better that blade looks. And those bolsters. Okay. Let's touch these back bolsters real quick. They're cleaning right up. Okay. Oh, about the back spring. Look what I do now. That back spring is so thin. I don't want to hit the covers. So I think what we're going to start with is just some sandpaper here. See how we do with some sandpaper on that back spring. That way we don't want to damage the cover with the Dremel there. Just use this. This is probably 600 grit sandpaper. We can touch the blade here, or the top of it here. That looks pretty good. And we're just kind of doing an initial cleaning here before we soak it again. Okay. I'll check down in the channel. Now on these single bladed knives, sometimes it's hard to get down in there. Now it actually doesn't look too bad down in there. So let's just see real quick if we can get anything out of there. Oh yeah. Got some of that rust out of there, didn't we? It's nice to get rid of all of this stuff before you soak it again in the clean solution. And we look at places like right here. That looks real good. We'll look down in there to see if we got anything here. That actually kind of seems pretty clean. Yeah. Now I can see kind of across the top of that back spring there, you can see a little bit of rust along in there. We'll see if we can't just touch it real quick with the sandpaper without hitting the covers. Try to clean them off just a little bit. So the problem with sometimes with these knives is, you know, they rust, but the steel liner between the liner and the cover. It gets rusted underneath the cover there. And then it works its way around, and that's why you got that mess right there. So just try to make sure we get rid of as much of this rust here as we can before we soak it. Like I said, it looks pretty good down in there. Okay. Let's see, we'll wipe it out here. Yep, we just slowly start getting rid of this stuff, don't we? Okay. I think I'm going to go throw her back in the rust remover for an hour or two and just see what happens. Well, after another round of soaking with the rust remover and then the mineral oil, I think we're just kind of dead even. I don't think it removed anything, but at the same time, I don't think it harmed anything. Now, I don't know, on this side, it looks like it may have lightened up just a little bit, but I'm not sure. But anyway, we still got this fantastic knife from Novelty Knife Company, celebrating the 25th anniversary of Smoky Mountain Knife Works. See if I can get that up there better. Isn't that cool? Now, you know, I don't know if it's like a paper or a sticker or what it is underneath this clear acrylic. It would matter how tightly that's pinned on there. So if your acrylic is loose or cracked or something, maybe stuff would seep down in there. That's why I always say whenever you're experimenting with something like this, you know, keep monitoring it. Don't just throw it in a solution and walk away for several hours with it. Always keep track of it. So anyway, I'm just going to finish cleaning up this blade here. Put a little flitz on it and see what happens. Well, this is after a second soak and some nice clean rust remover. We certainly haven't damaged anything. I'm not sure it's removed anything, but we haven't damaged anything, have we? Which is nice. Still pretty dark right there, isn't it? I don't know, without, you know, actually taking the covers off, how you'd ever get that cleaned out. It's probably just going to have to stay as it is. But, you know, before I throw it in the mineral oil, I think I'll take this opportunity to just touch it up again and clean on it a little more. And then we'll throw it in the mineral oil and take another look at it. Okay, this is about as far as I'm going to go with this knife. I think it looks pretty good. I know I could keep working on it more, but you know, with the discoloration there, I don't think it does any good to super duper shine it up. But we did get rid of the rust on those bolsters, save those bolsters from further rusting. Our back spring looks pretty good. Again, it could be polished up some more, but we got more projects to get onto, don't we? So the big point was trying to experiment just to see what would happen. You know, soaking it in the rust remover and the mineral oil to see if it would get underneath that acrylic and damage the advertising, and I don't think it did. I don't think it neither helped nor hurt. So there you have it, another successful completion. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please hit that like and subscribe button. And until next time, have a very delightful day.